Say the good morning, everybody. Say we are in Daf Gimel in Chulin. We started the Masechet on Shabbos, now Daf Gimel. So let's go back. The Gemara established really what we did in Daf Beis. For Amud Aleph, the Gemara established when it says the word Hakoil can do something, it's lechatchila. But the problem is in our Mishnah, there's a kol shechetim, everybody can check. And then it says the shechita suksheva, which means with the evet. So once we could try to explain it, we're now going into option number 2. I'll explain the Mishnah, and that is starting with Abaye. Abaye is the Gimel Amud Aleph, 6 lines to the top. So look at the Gemara. Abaye Omar Hachiktai. Here's how you learn the Mishnah. Hakol shechetim ve'afilu kusi. Everybody can shecht, even a kusi. What's a kusi? Kusi is a nation to join Am Yisrael, and we have a machlokes if they're considered to be Jews or
Beers or something.
What? Because of the lines.
Right.
The shaila was they're considered to be Jews or not. And the Gemara goes with the Mandamar that holds they were Jewish. But we don't rely on them completely because some things they don't do right. So if you say Bashchita, we accept them because they do it right. So even Kuti can shecht lechatchila. That's only if the Jew is standing on top of him and making sure he's doing it correctly. But if he's not on top of him, he's going in and out, no, we're not going to rely on a kusi. If he did do shchita, so how do you verify? Came the kusi, did a shchita, and he was good morning, and he wasn't able to verify. What do you do? So you cut a piece of meat, you give it to eat to the kusi. Meaning, if you give a piece of meat to the kusi does keep mitzvahs, and he believes he's a Jew. He doesn't care about others so much. He doesn't care about lifnei iver loyalty to niksha. So he doesn't mind giving other people meat, which is not kosher. But for himself, he's not going to eat meat which is not kosher. So if he goes and eats a meat, that means he holds is okay. So that's a raya that he did it correctly. So the kusi wants to do shchita, lechatchila, if you're on top of him, it's okay. If you're not on top of him, not okay, unless you go and you test him. Give him meat. Hemshech Mishnah, chutz v'cheresh shoyte v'katon, cheresh shoyte v'katon, which means a cheresh, deaf mute. Shoyte, someone who doesn't have, who's not safe. V'katon, a child. Bilu di'eved, namiloi, don't rely on them even with di'eved. Shema yidrusu, shema yechlidu. So shema yishu, shema yidrusu, shema yechlidu. These are 3 of the items which are problem with shchita. We'll see more about it later. We mentioned in the previous Amud, just again, Yishu means that you don't do it right away. They start cutting it's cutting and then he stops. And Yijusu is doing it in one shot without doing it, not doing it too fast. And Yechlidu means that he pulls down the simonim from its place. So we'll see later exactly how it works. He's doing shchita the wrong way. That's what it says. So the first part of the Mishnah tells you the chatchila when you're talking the kusi, but the evet if you ate from it, the not. The kulam sheshachadu. Now the last part of the Mishnah said, it's a small shvei shor Mishnah. Kulam sheshachadu v'achem rei moisom shechidus here. If he checked it, someone was there, it's kosher with the evet. Who? Talk about cheresh v'katan. So kulam sheshachadu ahai. What are we talking about? Either cheresh v'katan alokai. That's what we're talking about. This is the same notion we had in our base. When the one tried to attend this, it's another shot. So, how do you read the Mishnah? Don't check. And if they check that someone's on top of them, it's okay. So, what is the kulam sheshachtu? If they did it, says the kulam, actually you're adding somebody else. Who are you adding? So, the Gemara, that's what was asking. Ela kusi. Talk about a kusi.
Wouldn't we be talking about anybody, meaning not even a guy?
Going
no. What's wrong with a guy that's if a Jew is watching?
Oh, so we'll get to that. Well, let's see.
That's what.
We'll get to that more. Ela kusi. What do you mean? Kusi, we already took care of that problem. We said kusi, if you saw the top of him, he's okay. So why are you going back to it again? The kulam. Says the more kasha. Question. It's not, you always does it, point out. Is there a kasha and a tiyufta? Yishonim already said. Tiyufta means you slug them up. Kasha means a good question. Meaning, what's the problem over here? The Mishnah said, kusi, you have to be on top of him. If you're not on top of him, you have to test him. Don't rely on them. But if they did, and so was on top of them, it's okay. So what is the kulam? you're adding kusi, but kusi already mentioned. Okay, so it's not end of the world. We mentioned it twice. We're saying kusi, you have to be
We're saying
attentive.
Kusi by himself or Kusi was watching.
Watching. He's watching. We said again. Let's go back again.
What would be the difference between Chereshed and Katan and Kusi?
So the chesed question was lechatchila, can you rely on someone on top of it? Chesed, according to Abaye, kusi, if someone's on top of him, lechatchila can rely. Chesed katon lechatchila don't, but yeah, but okay. But at the end of the day, they both rely on him. So we just summarize the name. But it's we already mentioned it's Kwanzaa's kasha. That is Abaye's pshat.
Well, it seems like with a kusi, even if no one's on top of him, but if he'll eat the meat, then
That's the second option. That's a diavad. The chetchila be on top of him. But diavad, if you already did it, test it. Mashma that you have to mamish be on top of him. If you're going in and out, that's not good enough. That's what we say. You have to test it. Why not? God now it says in the Mishnah, this we learn in the Mesechus of the Zoro. You have a go in the store. So you can rely on it. Right? Now, meaning, there's also all the kashrus organizations. How does it work? There is such a thing. Sometimes you have mishgiach midi. Usually, it means it's going in and out. So going in and out, that's good enough. So why are you saying here it's not good enough? Says the Gemara, Hosso miktani miniach, how miniach tani diavad? So the first answer of the Gemara is, no, it doesn't mean you actually miniach, but if it so happened, we'll be okay. We rely on the diavad like by the kusim. It says also the Avodah Zarah ain't a shomer by wine. So you have to the whole time be on top of the people to make sure they're not doing yain nesach. So going out is good enough. So why you say only is not good enough? That's Rabbi change it. Similar to Abaye, but just one small nuance. Kusi checked. Only we saw goes in and out, in and out. But if he came and he found him after, he wasn't in and out. There was no much giach. So he gives him a piece to eat. If the kusi eats him in mutar lecha mishchidasai, lo yachla yasu lecha mishchidasai. Chut b'sher cheshet v'katan, tafilu di'eve nami loy. As I said before, cheshet kiyan, shema yishu, shema yishu, shema yachlidu. Three of the issues that you have by shchita. That's the kulam, the end of the mission, the same thing. Where we said anybody who shechted and someone's top of it is good enough. We just spoke about chesh koton. Ve'im shachot u'mibayalei should have said in the same case, not the kulam. Elakusi. You said you don't need to be someone on top of it. It's enough to be yotz v'nichnas. It's more kasha. So that question may be strong and lower than Abaye. Because according to Abaye, you said a fact which is true, but I already mentioned it. According to a Rava, we're saying a fact which is not true. We're saying that by a kusi, someone has to be on top of it. It's not true. Yotz v'nichnas is good enough. So that kasha is a stronger kasha. Okay. So that was the second answer we have in this stuff. We already one for yesterday. Now the Gemara goes two others. Now the Gemara brings answer number 4. Let's read the Mishnah. Hakol shoichatim v'afilu Yisrael mumor. Yisrael mumor is Yisrael doesn't keep mitzvahs. Simple idea, meaning is he converted. It says mumor lamai according to our Gersa le'echol nevei lois latov. You're not talking about some Gersos add over here. If it's lechol, if he does lahachis, he wants, bidavka. Of course, you can't rely on his shechita because he wants purposely not to do the right way. But the other means he has titus. It's very hard for him not to eat. If he can get kosher food, he's going to eat it. But when he has a good cheeseburger and there's nothing else to eat, he's going to eat it.
That's because he never went to the Siyum.
What?
No smash house.
No, yeah. So he has to eat. So he has to eat. So you're saying. So the Kedarava, Tomarava, Yisrael Mumor. If you have Yisrael Mumah, who eats Latova, meaning he's not doing two lahachis, but he has it so. So the Gemara obeys. The Gemara boy takes soki, even though you check the knife, make sure the knife is kosher. Right? So you give him a knife, he checks it. So the Chetchila, you want to make sure why? Because this is Yisrael, he's not trying purposely to make things wrong. If he doesn't have anything else to eat, he's lenient. But if he has, he's not going to try to sabotage, to hurt somebody else. So you give him a knife. What's the problem? The knife is kosher. I'm not, Well, I'll do it right. Why not? If you didn't check the knife, lo yishchoit. Don't let him shecht. If you did check it afterwards.
What's checking the knife after?
If it's kosher.
We still have that issue of the other three, the other,
We're talking about Israel woman, not about Kusi. So Mumma, I mean, they call not from Jew. Not from Jew. He's probably trying to do the right thing. Why not? He's at his job. He's going to do right.
we're not
But-
sure that he's gonna do a shooting correctly.
Yeah, he's not going to do purposely that. But if the knife, he's lazy. So if the knife is not kosher, he's not going to go starting running to the Rav to check the knife. But if the knife is okay, his knife is okay. So lechatchila, make sure the knife is okay before you give it to him. But the have it after you can check it too. That's part one of the Mishnah. Lechatchila, check it. B'di'evet, check it afterwards. Chutz v'chesed v'koton, nefilu di'evet, nami loi. Chesed v'koton, even di'evet not. Shama yishu, shama yidusu, shama yechidu. 3 examples of shchita can be done wrong. V'kulam sheshachadu. Now again, it's the same discussion.
We're not worried that a mummer is gonna have those problems. Like you should.
Yeah, right, because he
Yeah,
because he knows what he's doing. He's an adult. Because it says if someone's not him, it's okay. Say question. Anybody who shecht, that we're talking about. The guy who's shechting right now. Talk about Israel Mubo. If you check the knife, we said lechatchila can be okay. Ve'elo deloy bodak. If the Israel Saki leave the kashta, if there is a knife, you check it out. Feed the lazy Saki kachin. Where you saw my the end of the Mishnah said solution. Everybody who checked if someone's on top of him, everything's okay. What do you mean? You checked the knife, you didn't check the knife. What does that help that someone's on top of him? If you didn't check the knife, maybe he's doing everything correctly, but with the wrong knife. It's the wrong kasha. In other words, the end of the Mishnah is a problem according to this Mishnah as well. Because the lashon of the Mishnah should have been v'im, meaning don't rely on him. If someone's on top of him, the will be okay. Why do you say the chulin? Chulin someone to add somebody else. It can't be the Yisrael mummer because Yisrael mummer already took care of it. If you check the knife good, he checked the knife not. If you didn't check the knife, it doesn't help if someone's on top of him. Someone says, "Gosh, I don't know why it says the chulin in it." Ravina Omar. So that was pshat number 4. Pshat number 5 in the Mishnah. Ravina Omar Achiktani. Akol sheichadim, akol mumchim sheichadim. Anybody who's an expert knows the halachas. He knows everything he's supposed to know. So then you can let him shecht. Mumchim have a what? No. So yeah, akol sheichadim referring to the mumchim.
Yeah, but that's how kol is like.
It's always because of the chak we have in the Mishnah. No contradiction. Kol sheichatim, that's the chatchil. Sheichatim ksheira, but so we're forced.
Like,
Agree. But here I'm forced to do it because if not, I can't explain the Mishnah. We just says,
would have said right.
The Mi-
Should have said mumchim.
good question. So it means a cold mumchim. All the mumchim shecht. Now, why are you forced to do that? Because they have a contradiction. Lechatchila and di'evet. I have no choice. I'm stuck.
It's not starting with that.
Okay. So he says, what's the call here tell you? Anybody who knows Yechezkel Kurlanim, even though he didn't train too much, he went to Koilel, he learned Yechezkel, he never did too much
How's he
practice
called mumcha?
because he knows. Halachas, Rashi says Mumchis knows. Muchzokim means he's a professional. He knows all Yechezkel. In other words, he was never tested in the Rabbanut. He didn't take a test. Lo yishchut. Im shaka, he did shechita. What kimo yisem yudei learn shechita? So b'diavad, check it afterwards. Give him a test afterwards. What's the halachas? Hagurama is a problem or not a problem? But im shachat, what kimo yisem yudei learn shechita? Mutar chavish kedosai. So again, that's what we answer the steer of the Mishnah. Kol shechita lechatchila, if he knows. If I don't know if he knows, test him. Chutz v'chesed v'katon dafilu b'diavad nami loi. Chesed v'katon, we don't allow to do it even b'diavad. Shema Yishu, Shema Yishu, Shema Yechud, the same idea. V'kulam sheshachtu. Anybody who did check, even v'chesed v'katon, same question. Alokai, we're talking about chesed v'katon. So I say v'kulam, just say v'im shachatu. Right? Again, just explain once again. The Mishnah says chesed v'katon, don't do it. But if they did it, someone on top of it should be okay. That's what he should have said. But it says chesed v'katon, don't do it. Anybody who has someone on top of him is okay. So we're talking about chesed v'katon. What is anybody? Could be they had somebody else. Who? El Shein Mumchim. We talk about the ones that we don't know if they know the Cheshita. But we said you just test him. That was the solution. So the late sick, come on, the lift. He left. He did Shechita, he left. So now we say if someone was on top of him and make sure he did it okay, that's okay. That's really Mashgiach. Oh, so now we have an answer to the end of the Mishnah, which didn't say with Kasha. Another pshat number 5. That's what we say. This we can relate to a little bit more. What is muchzokim? Someone who trained, established, he was a sheikhet. He never did we test him with Shechita? No. That's more common by us. He's a guy who's shechting animals for the last 7 years. He's shechting Rashi said 3 times enough. We shechted many times. This guy, we know. Now, did he learn all the halachas? Not necessarily, right? Says the Gemara, even though he didn't know the halachas. He did it 2 or 3 times. It's already he's we know he did it many times. The learning is aleph. What is aleph? Rashi explains that his aleph is a loshon of. Look at loshon Rashi. His aleph in the middle of the Amud to the left. Loshon ayefus v'chalishus aleph. Higherness and weak heart. Shein yochol liris makas cherev v'sokin. He can't see a wound of a knife and a sword. When he sees blood, he goes, again, by us, he can't say, can't look at it. What's going on? He can't look at it. By us, I think majority of people today are like this. So if he did it 2 or 3 times, we never saw him, doing it, and if he's able to handle it. We don't know. So if he saw it, it's great. If he did do it, he did it. They tell, were you able to focus and look at it? Yeah, that was good, no problem. Shitas Aksheva. Again, back. Same idea. He'll do one of the issues of Shchita. Back to Kul Shachtu. Either the same question. What's Kul Shachtu? If they checked, it's okay. Back to the people that didn't do it 2 or 3 times. It's enough for him to say, I know it was okay. The later come out the shali is not there. Okay? So that was the answer number 5. So again, the Mishnah said everybody can check. She doesn't share b'di'evet. So we're struggling. How do we explain that? So we had in the previous album, there was answer number 1. We said everybody checked Tome by Chulin, b'di'evet by Kotchim if you didn't touch. And then the question: should I do it unless someone's on top of them? The question is, what does the Chulu come with that? Second explanation that we saw today was about a kusi. If someone's on top of him, b'di'evet yoytze v'nichnas. That was like explained it. Rova said lechatchila yoytze v'nichnas. B'di'evet if even without yoytze v'nichnas. That was number 3. And then Ravino. Then we had another one. Then we had the answer of Ravashi. Ravashi, we talked about Ravashi was regarding a mumor latel avoin. That's number 4. And then 5 and 6 is 2 expensive Ravino. Either someone who knows Yechezkel or someone else Chazak. So now the Gemara is going to ask why they didn't agree with each other. Let's see. Says the Gemara, all 6. So Ravino, which is the last 2 answers. Which I believe is the one before.
I'm debating,
That's the Mumchid.
What?
No.
No.
Vula is the that's a Tommy. Yeah.
It's Tommy.
Yeah, that's the first one. So the first answer, Mor says, Hulu, Ravino, last answer, Rabba Ula, first answer, Kabai Verova Rashlo Yabi. They didn't like the 3 middle answers. Because we got stuck with Chulin. Says Chulin, it's more kasha. It says anybody, if someone's on top of him, it's okay. So what are you talking about? We already covered that. Just say Viv. Chulin means you're coming to add somebody. Who are you coming to add? What we said before, we already covered that.
Also coming to exclude. Anytime the Mishnah goes Kershot or Katan, it means that there's something that is.
No, we're talking about the next sentence. Don't let him do the chetchil. The chulon, if someone's on top of him, it's good. Who's chulon coming to add? So we said according to the answers of Abaye, Rava, and Ravashi, I don't know who chulon's coming to add. It's kasha. We're going to stay with the kasha. So they didn't like to stay with the kasha. They didn't like the answer. That's like what it says. The kasha, the chulon. Kula karaba ulu the first answer. Yesterday's now, the Gemara ended. It said, so our Mishnah is talking about tuba. They already have a Mishnah that says tuba. So the Gemara answered, either here's the main place, there they just said it agav, or there's the main place, and here we just said it agav. So what it says, here's the ikar, there's the ikar, so you don't need our Mishnah. They're a country guy, because you're talking about country there. The one that says that there's the ikar. Once you speak about tabe, so we're talking about both. We disagrees with the whole idea that we said in that answer. The answer was in previous Amud that a tabe can do chulin. Why can he do chulin? Because tabe chulin. Because even though he's doing that, because even the chulin no problem to do tuva. We're talking about chulin shedasu al tara sakodesh. Someone who's very careful to eat his chulin with all care with altas kodesh, so he holds that you can't make it tough. We'll get back to that in a moment. But he holds, I think right now, no, he holds chulin shnas altas kodesh lav ke kodesh navi. It's not like kodesh. So meaning is this: there are some people that they eat the lav kodesh, kachip, so they're careful that their chulin. They'll also be careful with all the halachas of that you're careful with kachip. The Shaila is, does it have a din of kodesh, and really you treat it that way down, you don't let a tub touch it, or that. So last half, the Rabbi held, someone who's very careful with his chulin, you have to make sure it is that. Yeah, very kodesh. But in this one, the word says no. Kodesh is kodesh. Chulin could be tabe. So therefore, we disagree with that pshar of the Mishnah. The last two answers, they didn't like the last two answers. Why? According to the first answer, the one who knows the chishkita, yes. The one who does not chishkita, not. We're in between with shchita mumchim. So what do you mean? Anybody who's doing shchita, he knows the halachas, right? We assume it's okay. We have a chikir of the achronim. Is it a chazaka? So basically, do we say cheskas kasher? We eat this kasher, that's what we hold. Or we say you just that's mitzias. Just don't look
that they're going to practice, right? That's the whole idea why they practice.
Someone who's getting involved, so nobody. I'm not going to go do shechita if I don't know the halachas.
That how else do you practice?
No, I'm saying nothing about the mumchim. The mumchim is the guy who knows halachas. What's the issue? That somebody is going to get too scared of the blood. He's not going to do it. We're not chosh to that. That's what he says. So that's why we don't answer. They don't like the last two answers. Rava Larma Kabaye Rava the Wud Aleph did not say like Abaye's answer that said about Kusi needs someone on top of him. Kikush, because he explained why. He said you don't need someone on top of him. Yoitz V'Nicha is good enough. Abaye Larma Rava possibly Noga Chanoga. But Rava brought Arias from someone who's taking care of a store and of the wine that he doesn't need to have a. He doesn't need someone on top of him. Yoitz V'Nicha is good enough. Says there he's not touching anything, he's just guarding. But here he's touching it. You need to be much more on top of him. Why is Ravashi that you spoke about Yisrael Mubar? Kasova Kusim Geri Arayasim. He owns a Kusi, is a guy. And therefore I don't want to do Kusi. And if he's a guy, I don't do with the guy. Okay. Abaye lo about Ravashi. Why do Abaye not say like Ravashi? Meaning, why Abaye did not say it took away Yisrael Mubar? Lo Sfir Le Rava does not agree with what the concept of Rava. The Yisrael Mubar, that's what we said before. That we said the Yisrael Mubar can do shchita. Right? We saw that was the turn of the Amud. The Abba Rava Yisrael Mubar he disagreed with the concept. No, I don't trust Yisrael Mubar. Someone who's not from, I don't trust him by giving him a knife. But now the Gemara says a question. Rava himself, what was the explanation of Rava in our Mishnah? So we're talking about a kusi. Then you go Yechezkel. Why speak about a kusi? Speak about Yisrael Mubar. You hold Rov himself. Hold Yisrael Mubar. If you give him a knife, it's okay. So why does he explain the same way Ravash explained it? He himself said it. So tell me, say I disagree with this. He can't disagree with himself. Says the Gemara, so we're right. You're right. Rava could have said that answer, but Rava was talking to Abaye. Rava told Abaye, you explained Kusi, and the guy is, and you have to be on top of him. That's not true. Yechezkel is enough if you want to say Kusi. Now there's another explanation I can say like Ravashi, which is what talk about Yisrael Mubar. So it comes out. So the word came to explain why you have to get the 6 different answers, and why each one disagree with his own answer. Comes out of that. The only Rava could have said he has 2 answers. Rava has the answer of Kusi and someone at the top of Yechezkel, or Yisrael Mubar, you give him the knife. That's the idea. What comes out clear over here, the Ardwar holds that a guy cannot do shchita. Shaila is if someone is at the top of him, can he do shchita or not? But I say close to Ardwar than that. But the Ardwar before, that only by only Noshim Va'avodim. If you look at the previous Amud, we said Sheshilik Sher Bezori Benoshim Va'avodim Tmei. But not
No, they said Tmei.
yeah, but not going.
No, the guy is not funny.
No. Talk about Noshim Avodim. In other words, women and slaves, but not that. Even by women, we mentioned yesterday's daf. Yesterday we mentioned it. Anybody who came who heard it, we spoke about the machlokes. We showed you can women do shchita. First taste in the Masechta brings the machlokes. Can they do shchita or not? Why? So we pass they could. Even women is not so precious, so going for sure not. This is what they end. They would end with what we started the Masechta with. And that is that we saw the concept over here of Chulin Shedas Al Taras HaKodesh. Because really, Shaila is, what is Maseches Chulin? Chulin is not a nice word. Chulin is Lashon Choya. Avraham Avinu tells the Kodesh Baruch Hu, Chulin Lecho, Ba'asui Zadover Hazeh. Why is Chulin even in the same country? But the Yisoid is, there really are avoido, is to take the Chulin and make a Kodesh. And it says the Sharim, and his last parak speaks about the person who's called a Kodesh. As my Rebbe once put it together, the Sefer says goes in the order of the name Yitzchak. What is Yitzchak? Is the Messias Yisharim. Someone who's a Yashar wants to go the right way. What does he do? So the first part of the Messias Yisharim speaks about how to be a tzaddik. Tzaddik is you do everything right. Then the second part of the Sefer speaks about a Chosid. Chosid does the Fli B'Shur Hasadin. You do more than you need to. And the third part speaks about a Kaddish. That's the order of Yitzchak. Yashar, Tzaddik, Chosid, Kaddish. That's the order of the Sefer. What is Kaddish? Says the Messias Yisharim, the last parak of Messias Yisharim. Kaddish is someone, he says between a Kaddish and a Tar. So he says, Tar is someone who tries to do always the right thing, tries to remove himself from anything which is Gashmi, not to be too, immersed and just enjoying the physical items, trying to be Kaddish, trying to be connected to Kedusha. But it's someone who's Kaddish, all his physical items are Kaddish as well. When he eats, he doesn't L'Shem Shamayim, he does Hakadosh Baruch Hu. When he drinks Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And he brings the Gemara, it says, someone brings wine to Atan Chacham, they're bringing the Sachim. Why? Because it's as if you're bringing it to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, because he has Shechina on top of it. Says with Tzaddik, that's the idea of Chulin Shedasu Al Taras HaKodesh. Simple understanding means the person is very careful, he does everything in Kedusha. Also, Chulin is careful the halach is a Kodesh. But the idea that Chulin becomes your Kodesh, so he says, he brings that with Arizal, Tzaddik, Shabbos and Yom Tov is when you have, is when everything is, everything you do becomes Kodesh. Shabbos and Yom Tov. So by a person who can make his Chulin every day like a Shabbos and Yom Tov. Says, by the way, he says that's what connects to our days, Sfira Soiver. What is Sfira Soiver? Take a regular day of the week and you make it sphere, bring it up to the higher level. So it says that Das Sofer is the great grandson of the Chesed Sofer, the last Rav that was in Pressure till the Holocaust. So he brings it. He says, so that's the pshat. The Rebbe put Maseches Chulin and say the Kachim. Why? Kachim is one Kachim, but Chulin can also be Kodesh. Our important is if you not only could be. The Rebbe is telling us, you make your Chulin Kodesh, you do Shechita the right way, and you're careful to be Behadrin. And then the whole Masechta is, how do you make it right? There's no Taruvis. Make sure there's no milk, and there's no Yisurim. Everything is done perfectly. We're all so careful. Now your Chulin is Kodesh. So I also Kachim. So our goal is for Chulin to be kosher as well. That's the whole Masechta, to elevate the Chulin to make that Kodesh.
Chassidus, we call it Hiskafia and Hiskaf.
Yeah, to a certain degree. Chazal
Hafla
Yeah.
is like you transform like Chulin into
Right.
Kodesh.
Right.
Hiskafia,
Go ahead.
Tahar, you just.
Amumer
I'm
Okay,
L'Teavin.
here.
All tov.
Amumer L'Teavin is only because he didn't need that
Okay.
Shabbos.
We're gonna, at the upper Friday night,